You're listening to RiverStars Performing Arts on EmpowerHour.
Listen up. I made a really good dinner last night, went to bed early, woke up early, and finished all my homework. I'm on top of the world. The world sucks. The world is beautiful. No, the world is my donut. And what exactly does that mean? Well, life is all about perspective. All of the people that you see every day, they all have their own ideas, opinions, likes, dislikes, and experiences. Just like you, just like me. This is what makes the world your donut, man. Since life is all about perspectives, make yours radical, dude. Try out for that team. Talk to that neat, slightly intimidating person. Just do it. If it doesn't turn out how you hoped, don't get down. Get up. Even more up than you were before. You did it, man. You did it. Embrace that. Embrace trying and actually living in the moment. Make the world yours, conquer it, and take a sweet, sweet bite out of it. Life is what you make of it. So make it your donut, or car, or pizza, or ice cream, or anything you might want it to be. It's up to you. You are the leader of your army, the sun of your earth, the apple of your eye, well, you know what I mean. My point is that you have a whole world. Get it? Whole? Are you on the inside or the outside? The world is yours. Take it and make it the way you want. I'm Annie on Empower Hour on KXCJLP 105.7 FM. Today's topic is the world is our donut. How teens see the world. And up next we have Lady Line.
You know that saying, the world is our oyster. Well, what does it mean? Is it a synonym for you can do anything in the world? Or does it mean that the world is an oyster and we're the pearl? Because let me tell you, neither of those are true. I mean, seriously. It is hell to try and do anything in the world. Hell. Not too long ago, women couldn't vote in America. And even now, some women still can't vote in other countries. And then for the second analogy, is humankind really a pearl in the world? No. The answer is no. Do you see people helping our planet? No. Do you see people consciously fighting back climate change and corporations who are pillaging our planet? No. So, if we aren't free to fix the world, and we certainly aren't a pearl, then what are we?
You're tuned to KXCJLP 105.7 FM Cave Junction, listening to Ladyline, where we ask and you answer. I'm Phoebe Hertler.
I'm Isadora Malay.
Coming to you from the Illinois Valley's one and only teen-powered radio show, EmpowerHour. Thank you all for listening to today's topic, The World is Our Donut, How We See the World. Yep, that's right. We're taking back the saying, the world is our oyster, and replacing it with, the world is our donut. Why this difference? Well, we're replacing it with, the world is our donut, because with another meaning. The world with our donut stands for how we see the world. Yes, sir, indeed. We are teens, for God's sake. To us, the world is just a massive ball that floats around the sun with Wi-Fi to make our stay on this climate-changed, diseased planet more satiable.
So, yeah. If that's how teens see the world, then how do adults and kids see it? I know when I was a little child, I didn't even acknowledge this world. I just read books and lived in fictional realities. And if I'm being honest, I still do. I mean, it's a way to get off of this planet and not see it. because once you do open your eyes, you can never close them. I think that's what makes people so afraid to really see the world. They just don't want to. I mean, with Trump as president, climate change raging, poverty at an impasse, and World War III about to start, who wouldn't want to close their eyes?
And that's the problem. Sure, people see the world, but do they actually see the world? How do you see our planet? And what do you do about it? If your answer is nothing, then don't worry. You're not alone. Please note that this isn't an attack on people. This is just us trying to convey the fact that how we see the world is important. Think about it for a second. If everybody knew about climate change and really understood the impact on our world, don't you think more people would stand up for our planet? Sure, not everybody would do it, but chances are, if people actually cared, things would be different. Take an example. Say you had a farm and everything you had depended on how well your farm was doing. Then say, all of a sudden, out of the blue, the weather starts changing, ruining your crops because they weren't ready for extra hot or cold weather. And then because your crop had failed due to the weather, you went bankrupt and lost everything, having to leave your farm. See, if that really happened to you, wouldn't you want to change climate change? Because if it wasn't there, you would still have your house, money, and crop.
Or here is an even better example. What if the place where you lived started to burn every summer and nobody could breathe or even go outside? Summer stopped being summer and just became fire season. Wouldn't you want to change climate change then?
Well, see, we asked all of you listening a question, but we really want is some answers, which is why we've decided to interview Kristen Vidalis. Kristen is a longtime resident of the Illinois Valley who graduated from IVHS and Southern Oregon University with a bachelor's degree in health and PE. She now works at the local schools helping tutor and mentor students to stay on track to graduate.
Thank you for joining us today, Kristen. We'd like to let everybody know that we are taking calls throughout the duration of this interview. So, if you have any questions, thoughts, stories, or opinions, then call in on 541-592-4112. Again, that's 541-592-4112. Thank you all. Now, let's get on with the interview. So, Kristen, you spend a lot of time here in the Valley with kids. Could you tell us a little bit about what you do with them?
Yeah, so I'm the coordinator of this program called SOS, which stands for Steps of Success. I basically go into the Lorna Byrne Middle School and the Illinois Valley High School and help mentor and tutor kids to stay on track to graduate.
Mm-hmm. And what is it like to help the kids?
Oh, it's extremely fun. I love working with kids.
Mm-hmm.
I love being able to help students find that aha moment through problems and help them get through whatever it is they're needing to get through in life at that moment in time.
That's great. How do the kids differ from each other?
I think it's just like every other, human being. They have different personalities, rooting from home environment and their own family values.
How long have you been helping kids?
For a little over a year now.
Mm-hmm. And how would you describe the world that teens face?
In one word, complicated.
Complicated.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
Oh, yeah. I mean, teens, they're facing so much. They have to juggle so much throughout the day, not only just from social pressures and individualization, but understanding all the different components of the world around them. It can be very overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And what are some ways that you help teens deal with the overwhelming sense?
Just helping them get through the day-to-day processing, giving them tools and different aspects, helping them view the world in different lenses so that, they're not stuck in that one time frame or that one thought process, but looking at it from different ways to problem solve.
How do you personally view the world?
Oh, it's a really good question. I'm a very optimistic person, so I look at the world through a positive lens, always trying to find the good in people and in events and things.
Mm-hmm. And so before you were talking about how you give kids different lenses and tools, could you talk about what lenses and tools you give to different kids?
It depends on the situation. If a kid is really down on themselves, I try to find ways to help build them up and give them confidence. I try to remind them that everybody goes through hard times, everybody fails at one time or another, but it's really important to keep trying,
And how do kids react to your mentoring and helping?
I think they're surprised at times on how positive I am. And, I like to think of myself as a cheerleader. And I think sometimes kids just need that extra person in their corner to know that they are supported and that if they are to fail, that there is someone to help them and listen,
So, do you empower kids by listening to them and talking with them?
Completely. I think it's really important for people to try to get on, kids' level. I think it's really important. I think today we go through life so fast and just trying to get through whatever it is, we're trying to get through to get to the next thing or get to tomorrow. And it's really important to sit and just take the moment as it is.
Yeah.
What made you want to start helping kids in the first place?
Well, I've always loved working with kids, and I had this awesome opportunity. I was in Passages in high school, and the lady who ran that, Nicole Renton-Brink, happened to run into me at Coffee Heaven and provided me this opportunity to work with kids. And at first, I kind of did it as a volunteer position and fell in love with it. And she took me under her wing and offered me an actual job. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little bit of information about what Passages is?
Yeah, it's an all-girls group, and basically we just give life skills to kids who need it. And we just help support them, give them an extra support, from their own peers and from an adult as well.
Wow, that's great. And so you said that you were in Passages as a kid?
Yeah.
That's cool. How did that affect you to be the person you are now?
I think that is it was a huge portion of who I am today. The support system that Nicole gave, as well as the other girls in the group, she tries to do a really good job at bringing girls from different life perspectives or different life, different groups, and brings them all together to show each other that, we have more in common than what one might think. And over the years, it turns into this really powerful support group that follows even after you graduate high school.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Do you have a support group for boys at the school?
Yes, we do. It's called Quest.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And does Quest do the same thing as Passages?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So how would you describe the world that teens face?
Complicated.
Is there anything else?
Like I said before, they are juggling so much in their everyday. It can be very overwhelming. Social pressures definitely are more influential at that point in time, as well as them trying to find their individual self, but still belong to their family. It's a really hard juggle. I have to hand my hat off to them because it's a huge process to become an adult, and have those responsibilities.
Did you ever find that you kind of went through the same thing as they are going to when you were a teen?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yes.
And do you think kids close their eyes to the chaos around them?
Yes, I think all people do. I think it's very easy with technology so easily accessible. We're able to go online and check out on social media or gaming or other, other things as well.
And why do you think that they close their eyes?
For a variety of different reasons. I think with social media such a huge part of our everyday life, it's easy to check out naturally, not really think about that. And other reasons could be because it's kind of painful to look at, the whole entire world and our place in it as individual people.
Yeah. So what exactly are some of the ways that teens deal with what they see?
Oh, man. I mean, some use substances to kind of cope with that. Some become very active in their community and trying to make a difference. I think there's a mixture of all types of teens, some that don't care, some that care in a whole lot but don't know what to do with that energy or what to do, to help out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think your support groups really help with the way they deal with it?
Yeah, we really try to emphasize, the impact on each other and the impact on our world and trying to balance all of those social pressures and knowing that you're not the only one in the situation. Yeah.
How do you help apathetic kids feel empowered to engage with the world?
I think every kid has desires and dreams and most importantly interests, and it's important to try to tap into those interests and motivate them to build confidence through those interests.
Do you find that a lot of kids do find their interests and go on to succeed and be really happy in the world, or is it sometimes the opposite?
I think it depends on their support system they have behind them. If they have at least one person in their life they can, rely on and be there for them when they fail, then they are more apt to going out and finding confidence and being successful in life. And some kids don't necessarily have that support system in their life, and that can affect the way that they, are successful.
Yeah.
You said earlier that you're very optimistic and you're open to how you see the world.
Yeah.
Have you been influenced by other people on how you see the world?
Yeah. So, I've gotten into a lot of heated discussions all through college and even into my early adult life about, different views of the world, and just me trying to be optimistic. Sometimes it's really hard to, with everything going on in life. But luckily, I've had a really good support system behind me to help, keep that optimism alive and to keep pushing forward even when times seem really rough or hard, but to just stay positive and keep doing the work that I'm doing in order to make a little ripple effect that, in tune affects the larger world.
That's really great.
Could you tell us who influenced how you saw the world?
Oh, man, I've had a lot of support systems, been very blessed. My family, all of my teachers in some way or another have helped influence me, whether positive or negatively, help challenge me to see the world in a different lens or different way. Nicole Rensenbrink is a huge part of that processing and influence, as well as Monet Talty, my college dreams leader. So many people, I can't even name them all, really.
Wow. So keeping on this path about talking about your view of the world, how have your views changed throughout the years?
As a younger teenage, I was very naive and, thought the world was a really wonderful place. And as I got older and more aware of things, I realized that, the world isn't always so great and so wonderful.
So, kind of diverging from this path,
Yeah.
do you think kids are ignorant about what's going on in the world because ignorance is bliss and it's too painful to see what's out there?
I think kids are young, and being young, they are more apt to being instantly gratified by materialistic items rather than seeing the larger world around them.
Have you ever been personally affected by a student who you thought had lots of potential in the world only to have them crumble to the toxicity of the world?
I've only been in this workforce for a little over a year now, and luckily I haven't had anything like that happen yet.
Do you ever see teens trying to change the world, or do they just accept the world they are walking into?
I think it's a mixture of both. I think that goes back to what your family values are and what your home environment is. I think there are a huge wave of kids coming up that are very aware and want to make a difference in the world. But I also see a lot of kids, just looking for that instant gratification as well through materialistic items or other things. And so I think there's a mixture, really.
Yeah.
What kind of support systems do you think helps a child dream about what their life could be?
I think it's all around. I think it really does take a village to raise a kid. I think it's not just family or just friends or just community or just school, that they have to have a whole support system to really make it through. I think really most importantly, though, if that child knows that they have at least one adult in their life that they can depend on, they can rely on to ask for advice, to be there for them when they fail and know that someone will be there to help, that makes all the world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What happens when a child doesn't have a mother or a father who they can look upon? What happens to them? What do they do?
From my experience in the community, there are other outlets too to help support that child. Boys and Girls Clubs, school, the community. Hopefully that child has other family members that help kind of guide them, and become role models for those kids. And I think that's a big portion of my job, is just making sure that these kids know that there's someone behind them and supporting them and listening.
That's great.
Yeah.
Do you think the kids you work with come from different class backgrounds?
Yeah.
And how has class affected it?
From my own personal experience, being, in lower classes, you have to work a lot harder to get to the goals and achievements that you want.
If you were born into a different class, say rich, do you think it would change your perspective on the world?
Oh, yeah. I think, it's sad to say, but I think money does play a large part in how far we go. Goals are trying to achieve anything, money makes the world go round. I don't really like to say that, but, it's kind of a reality. If you want to go to school, you have to pay the big bucks. If you want to do anything, you have to have money behind you.
That's very true.
With just a few minutes left, in your view, what is the most effective way to get kids to view themselves as a
harbinger of social improvement?
Ooh, I think that goes back into finding what their interests are, because you can light a large fire of inspiration once you tap into their interest and get them to understand that they do have a place in the world. You just have to look for it.
That's great. Wow, that was enlightening. We'd like to thank Kristen for letting us talk with her. It was a pleasure. We'd also like to thank our listeners for tuning in to today's topic. We hope you enjoyed it.
Unfortunately, our time has passed, and we must give the mic to our fellow EmpowerHourians. No, that's not a real thing. Again, thank you all so much for listening to Ladyline today.
And make sure to listen in next Saturday to learn about our next topic. Curious to know what it is? Well, unfortunately, we can't tell you that. So you'll just have to tune in every Saturday.
Thanks for listening to Ladyline.
Footstep noises. Footstep noises. Footstep noises. Footstep noises. Footstep noises. We're trekking, trying to reach our goal of getting Lorna Burn Middle School composting. To do that, we were told by Mr. Pullen to get Mr. Bixler, the leadership teacher, Mr. Gerton, the life skill teacher, and Nathan, the head custodian, all on board.
We've talked with Mr. Bixler. Now, all we gotta do is have a talkin' with Mr. Gerton and Mr. Nathan. So hip, hippity ho, bro.
Is it like leftover lunches and stuff? Is that what you're composting?
Yeah, we're gonna have the normal trash cans and then a separate bin for food, so they'll put their food in another, and then their wrappers and plates and silverware and stuff in the normal trash can.
All right.
And we're probably going to like double or triple bag the food bin if that's necessary, just so it's not a big mess.
All right.
And then we're gonna start a rotation with farmers in the valley, out back over there by the trash cans, and probably get another bin if you think we should do that. And then we'll just put the bags in there, and they'll just drive up, and we'll put at the end of lunch, someone will put the bag in the bin, and then the farmers will just drive up back there and take the bag out.
Oh, all right.
And use it for their compost.
All right.
we don't want this to be any extra work for the janitors, so we're gonna be doing whatever we can and have you guys as minimally involved as possible, just so you don't have more work to do. And we're gonna have like 4 people at lunch every day.
Oh, wow. All right.
And it'll be some kids from leadership and some kids from RiverStars. And then we also just recently talked to life skills, and we're going to have a couple of those kids too.
All right.
Project Redworm is, as you know, the acronym stands for Rural Environmental Determination of Waste Organization and Recycling Management. And what we're doing is we're going to all the schools, starting with Lorna Byrne, and we want to incorporate a composting program for lunch every day. So what we would do is we would take a separate bin and another bin, and when kids are done with their lunch, they would put their food in one bin and their paper plates and plastics in another. That way what we can do is we can take the food that's not being used and just thrown away, and we can give it to farmers, and they can use that in turn for worms, to grow worms, which help gardening, and they help the earth, and they help create a better economy.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So what we want to do is give you guys some of those worms the beginning of next school year, and then also probably put you guys in whatever rotation we decide for the farmers picking up the compost, so then you guys will have some too for your garden outside.
Okay.
And then we also would possibly teach the kids how to compost if they don't know if that would be a possibility, and interact with them and record how they feel about doing this kind of project, and just work with them just so they don't just feel like they're not sure what to do. And then also I feel like it would kind of just help all around, because it would teach a lot of kids how to work with other kids in different areas of life.
Good. Well, we are definitely all about inclusion and making them feel a part of the whole school environment, so we appreciate you coming and talking to us.
Footstep noises. Footstep noises. Footstep noises. Footstep noises. Stop! Guys, we made it. Right now, we are right smack in the middle of the mountain. After talking with Mr. Gurton, Mr. Bixler, Mr. Nathan, and Mr. Poland, we have gotten the go-ahead for starting up composting in Lorna Byrne.
This isn't the end of Project Redworm's beginning. In fact, it's just the start of a new journey for EmpowerHour. Thank you so much for listening to Project Redworm.
You're listening to KXCJ LP 105.7 FM Cave Junction, and welcome to Arts Alive.
I'm Annie.
I'm Toby.
I'm Talia.
And I'm Elijah.
How do you see the world? The world can be portrayed in a miraculous number of ways.
That's what art does. It affords us so many perspectives.
And we can use music and poems and dances to transform how we view the world.
One song that truly offers a compelling view of the world is Step Lightly by Mike Love.
Come gather around people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If this whole world to you is worth saving, then you'd better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. 'Cause the time choking, there's nowhere to breathe. All these chemicals are poisoning me, Lord. I feel like I ain't got no space. I got to get out of this place, 'cause everybody's moving too fast. All I want to do is relax, yeah. I don't want no heart attack. Don't wanna work till I break my back, no. I don't wanna see no more construction. To me it looks more like destruction, yeah. Just want to protect her and all she's done. She has provided for everyone, so step lightly. You are trodden on sacred ground. Step lightly. There is beauty to be found, look all around. Step lightly, for you don't wanna leave a scar. Oh no, no. Step lightly, for the children this will be no more. But the buildings just keep getting taller. Open spaces, them are getting smaller, yeah. They're building more universities and destroying diversity, oh. But where will all the little animals run to find shelter from the burning sun? If we let them cut down all the trees and spread their industrial disease, oh, that fear the ocean so deep. I witness the waterfalls alleviate. Do you think that they could be so blind to bring the end of humankind? Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh mama. Oh mama. Mama, I see that you're bleeding. Oh, mama, I feel your pain in my soul. Oh, mama, I will do my best to teach them. Oh, mama, not to hurt you so. I see them use you. See every beauty abuse you. All out how they break you. See every day how they rape you. Step lightly, you are trodden on sacred ground. Step lightly, there is beauty to be found. Look all around. Step lightly, for you don't wanna leave a scar. Oh no 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 no. Step lightly, or for your children this will be no more. Cutting down the forest, filling up the landfills, blackening the skyline, showing up the sun till there's nothing left but garbage, still concrete and sorrow. People, this doesn't have to be on tomorrow. If you listen closely, you will hear her crying. Do you even care that she is slowly dying? Got to make a change now, if not for yourself, then do it for your children. who will stand now? Who will stand with me and fight? Who will have the courage to stand up now, make a change, and never look back? Stand up now, what you know is right in your heart. Who will stand with me and fight? Stand up now, for the hour is later than you think. Who will stand with me and fight? Fight against these wicked oppressors who seek to control our hearts. Stand by our soul. Who will stand now? Who will stand with me and fight? For the beauty of a good Queen Mama Earth, who has provided for us for so long, who never asked for nothing in return. Who will stand now? Who will stand with me for the beauty of her waterfalls, for her valleys, for her oceans? Who will stand? Who will stand with me and fight? For a right to breathe clean air and drink clean water, unpoisoned, eat clean food, ungenetically modified. Who will stand? Who will stand with me and fight? For our future, for our freedom, for our children and our children's 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 children. Who will stand with me and fight?
Back to the question. How do you see the world?
Well, I think the world should be sued for false advertisement, because it seems so nice and kind and full of love. And maybe it is, if you have everything you need to survive. But in reality, we have children dying on the streets from starvation, people overdosing, and almost non-existent rainforests compared to 100 years ago. Global warming is killing not just the planet, but the animals and us. And it's completely ignored? And not to top it all off, we have a hole in our ozone.
Well, I see the world as a donut, mostly because no matter how sweet the world may look, it's full of holes, which spread and infect like a cavity that is not so slowly rotting away the tooth that is the world we live in.
Or the world is just as manufactured as a donut that is processed on an assembly line and is being controlled by the big guys with money and power, and all we can do is go along for the ride.
Hey guys, I found a poem that I think is perfect for this. Listen, it's called I See the World. I look at the world from awakening eyes in a black face, and this is what I see, this fenced-off narrow space assigned to me. I look then at silly walls through dark eyes in a dark face, and this is what I know. All these walls oppression builds will have to go. I look at my own body with eyes no longer blind, and I see my own hands can make the world that is my mind. Then let's hurry, comrades, to the road to find. That was by Langston Hughes.
I like it, but can I just add something? It's the song Imagine by John Lennon. Maybe this is one of the best ideas for a just world I have ever heard.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger, or brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
Guys, we're out of time. Just like we're running out of time to get our act together regarding climate change.
Well, this brings us to the end of Arts Alive, but it is not the end of using art to change the world.
All hail arts.
Up next, my obnoxious fandom.
The world is a place that could use work, but I think it is also wonderful.
The world is polluted and run by adults who don't even know what they're doing.
The world is a donut!
The world is what you make it and what we make it together. If teens ran the world,
That would be very scary.
If I ran the world.
too much freaking happiness.
If I ran the world.
Shakespeare quotes!
But really, how do we see the world? Constantly, our view is changing.
Is it evil?
Is it wonderful?
Is it a donut? Like, legit, we have a hole in our ozone, guys.
And there's less and less donut and more hole.
How do you see the world?
Welcome to EmpowerHour, where roaring from the soul is our goal. On
KXCJLP
105.7 FM, Cave Junction.
The awkward things that happen to us might just happen to you on this episode of My Obnoxious Fandom.
I just can't stand this intentional bleep noise.
Why, though?
Don't you see, we are ruining the world, depleting the oxygen these trees give us, the miracle of life, yet we cut them down. We kill animals when they're just like us, living, breathing, probably have families, living a life that they control, finding their own way, yet we brutally murder them. It's a choice. We can choose to murder them just to eat a meal that's only convenient to us. Just think, if you killed a person, then ate them, would you feel bad? Of course.
Okay, you honestly view the world as a pessimist.
Shut up, Maisie.
But wait, guys, the world is still growing. It's not that bad. We make music, art, and embrace the world because we choose to change it. Some people want to change the world because they don't view the world as hopeless. We create art and plays that tell the world what's going on and tell them what needs change. Take RiverStars Performing Arts, for example. Da-da-da-da. We are one step in changing the world into what it will be.
Optimist.
Guys, the world won't always stay like this, though. We need to keep the world alive and not dead inside and out. Just take it from Princier. Let's hear, Dear future generations. Sorry.
Dear future generations, I think I speak for the rest of us when I say, sorry. Sorry we left you with our mess of a planet. Sorry that we were too caught up in our own doings to do something. Sorry we listened to people who made excuses to do nothing. I hope you forgive us. We just didn't realize how special the earth was. Like a marriage gone wrong. We didn't know what we had until it was gone. For example, I'm guessing you probably know it as the Amazon desert, right? Well, believe it or not, it was once called the Amazon rainforest, and there were billions of trees there, all of them gorgeous, and... Oh, you don't know much about trees, do you? Well, let me tell you, trees are amazing. I mean, we literally breathe the air they are creating. They clean up our pollution, our carbon. They store and purify water, give us medicine that cures our diseases, food that feeds us, which is why I'm so sorry to tell you that we burn them down. Cut them down with brutal machines, horrific, at a rate of 40 football fields every minute. That's 50% of all the trees in the world gone in the last 100 years. Why? For this. And that wouldn't make me so sad if it weren't so many pictures of leaves on it. You know, when I was a child, I read how the Native Americans had such consideration for the planet that they felt responsible for how they left the land for the next 7 generations. Which brings me great sorrow, because most of us today don't even care about tomorrow. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we put profit above people, greed above need, the rule of gold above the golden rule. I'm sorry we use nature as a credit card with no spending limit, overdrafting animals to extinction, stealing your chance to ever see their uniqueness or become friends with them. Sorry we poison the ocean so much that you can't even swim in them. But most of all, I'm sorry about our mindset, 'cause we had the nerve to call this destruction progress. Hey, Fox News, if you don't think climate change is a threat, I dare you to interview the thousands of homeless people in Bangladesh. See, while you were in your penthouse nestled, their homes were literally washed away beneath their feet due to rising sea levels. And Sarah Palin, you said that you love the smell of fossil fuels. Well, I urge you to talk to the kids of Beijing who are forced to wear pollution masks just to go to school. See, you can ignore this, but the thing about truth is, it can be denied, not avoided. So I'm sorry, future generations. I'm sorry that our footprint became a sinkhole and not a garden. I'm sorry that we paid so much attention to ISIS and very little to how fast the ice is melting in the Arctic. I'm sorry we doomed you, and I'm sorry we couldn't find another planet in time to move to. You know what? Cut the beat. I'm not sorry. This future, I do not accept it, because an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. We can redirect this. How? Let me suggest that if a farmer sees a tree that is unhealthy, they don't look at the branches to diagnose it, they look at the root. So like that farmer, we must look at the root and not to the branches of government, not to the politicians run by corporations. We are the root, we are the foundation. This generation, it is up to us to take care of this planet. It is our only home. We must globally warm our hearts and change the climate of our souls and realize that we are not apart from nature, we are a part of nature. And to betray nature is to betray us. To save nature is to save us. Because whatever you're fighting for, racism or poverty, feminism, gay rights, or any type of equality, it won't matter in the least. Because if we don't all work together to save the environment, we will be equally extinct. Sorry.
Okay, so I honestly think that if we're not more careful, the world will end up that way. And we need to protect the planet. I see the world like it's the movie Rent. There is good and bad, but the characters make the most out of what they have and they don't take more than what they need. Honestly, if everyone were more like that, then this world might have a chance.
Okay. We understand. But how could people be more mindful, like the characters from Rent?
Well, like in the movie, they just need to live la vie bohème, the bohemian life.
Channel your bohemian side with us, Maya.
I love that movie, but I just don't feel like this this movie is realistic. I mean, some people just don't even care if we trash the environment, right?
That's ridiculous.
You make fun, yet I'm the one attempting to do some good. Or do you really want a neighborhood where people piss on your stoop every night? Bohemia, Bohemia's a fallacy in your head. This is Calcutta. Bohemia isn't dead.
Here she lies, no one knew her worth. The late great daughter of Mother Earth. On these nights when we celebrate the birth, in that little town of Bethlehem, we raise our glass, you bet your ass to La Vie Bohème.
La vie bohème. La vie bohème. La vie bohème.
Today's of inspiration, playing hooky, making something out of nothing. The need to express, to communicate, to going against the grain, going insane, going mad. To love intention, no pension, to more than one dimension, to starving for attention, hating convention, hating pretension, not to mention, of course, hating dear old mom and dad. To riding your bike midday past the 3-piece suits, to fruits, to no absolutes, to absolute, to choice, to the village voice, to any passing fad, to being an Aussie for once instead of a damn La Vie Bohème.
Hey, mister. She's my sister.
So that's 5 miso soup, 4 seaweed salad, 3 soy burger dinner, 2 tofu dog platter, and 1 pasta with meatless balls.
Ew. It tastes the same.
If you close your eyes.
And 13 orders of fries. Is that it here?
Wine and beer.
2 handcrafted beers made in local breweries. 2 yogurt, to rice and beans and cheese. 2 leather, 2 dildos, 2 curry vindaloo. 2 huevos rancheros in Maya Angelou.
Emotion, devotion to causing a commotion. Creation, vacation.
Mucho masturbation.
From passion to fashion to passion. When it's new
to Sontag,
to Sondheim, anything taboo.
Ginsberg, Dylan, Cunningham, and Cage, Lenny Bruce, Langston Hughes,
To stage, to Buddha,
the Buddha,
Papa Neruda, to
why Dorothy and Toto went over the rainbow to blow up NTM. La Vie Bohème.
Sisters?
We're close.
Brothers, bisexuals, trisexuals, homo sapiens, carcinogens, hallucinogens, men, Pee Wee Herman, German, one turpentine, Gertrude Stein, Antonioni, Bertolucci, Kurosawa, Carmina, Burana, to apathy, to entropy, to empathy, ecstasy, Václav Havel, the Sex Pistols, 8BC, to no shame, never playing the fame game,
To marijuana.
to sodomy, it's between God and me.
See, Maya, if everyone was a little bit more la vie bohème, the world might just be a better place.
Yeah, everyone would be more focused on friendship and happiness rather than hate and war.
No, war is still a main concerning topic. Honestly, I need to stay alive. I have to go to high school and college.
Let's just toast. To la vie bohème.
La vie bohème.
with, not dying from disease. Let he among us who without sin be the first to condemn. La vie bohème, la vie bohème, la vie bohème.
Anyone out of the mainstream?
La vie
Is
bohème.
anyone in the mainstream?
La vie bohème.
Anyone alive with a sex drive? Head out the wall. Aren't we all? The opposite of war isn't peace. It's creation.
La vie bohème. Viva la vie bohème.
So, kids, today's lesson is that life doesn't make you. You have to grab life by, I guess, the donut hole and make what you want of it.
What does that even mean?
Tune in next Saturday at 11 to catch our next fan session. You've just been empowered by the hour. Bye.
Empower Hour is a project of RiverStars Performing Arts made possible by the Oregon Community Foundation's Community Grant. Rants are written and performed by Annie Hertler. Lady Line is written by Isadore Millay and hosted by Phoebe Hertler and Isadore Millay. Arts Alive is written by Annie Hertler and performed by Annie Hertler, Toby Giroux, Talia Atlas, and Elijah Ocean. My Obnoxious Fandom is written by Maisie Giroux and Maya Hauk and hosted by Maisie Giroux, Maya Hauk, and Talia Atlas. Our adult helpers are Nellie Barrera, Keith, Chris Hall, and Gina Angelique. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/IVRiverStars and subscribe to our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/RiverStars Performing Arts. Stay tuned for Section D with Midge Note coming right up. You're listening to KXCJLP 105.7 FM, Cave Junction.
The Spiral Living Center is a 501c3 nonprofit educational organization whose purpose is to enhance self-sufficient community in the Illinois Valley. For more information, check out www.spiralliving.org. Again, that link is www.spiralliving.org.
Oregon Caves Chevron joins our team of underwriters offering ethanol-free Supreme Fuel, full-service auto repair, tires, towing, and propane 7 days a week. Oregon Caves Chevron at the corner of Caves Highway and Highway 199.
That's great. It starts with an earthquake, birds and snakes, an airplane. And Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane. Listen to yourself. Churn world serves its own needs. Dummy serve your own needs. Beat it up and knock speed. Grunt no strength. The ladder starts to clatter with fear. Bite down. High wire and a fire represented 7 games in the government for hire and a combat site. Left to us are coming in a hurry with the furies breathing down your neck. Team by team reporters babble Trump, Kevin Crop. Look at that low plane. Fine. Then overflow. Population common food, but it'll do. Save yourself, serve yourself. World serves its own needs. Listen to your heartbeat. Dummy with the rapture and the reverend and the right. Right. You patriotic, slam fight, bright light, feeling pretty sight. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. 6 o'clock TV hour, don't get caught in foreign tower, slash and burn, return. Listen to yourself churn. Locking in uniform and book, burning blood, letting every motive escalate. Automotive incinerate, light a candle, light a motor, step down, watching heel crush, this means no fear. Cavalier, renegade, steer clear. Tournament of lies. Offer me solutions, offer me alternatives, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it.
Bernstein, Leonard, Brasnap, Lenny Bruce, and Lester Banks, birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom, you symbiotic, patriotic, slam, button, nap, right? Right. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine.